Hello, ladies. How are you doing today? So my name is Tina Rains, and I am an entrepreneur. My background is healthcare staffing. Some of you know me. I do coaching, and most importantly, I love doing my passion project, which is Masterpiece Women. So if you haven't checked it out, go to masterpiecewomen.org and learn who we are and what we do. So today, I could teach you 1,000 things about business. I could teach you 1,000 things about business plans and strategy and how do we create a business plan, a model, and projections for 5 years and all those things. But what I want to talk to you actually about today is I can do all that and it can just do nothing for you. I would like to talk to you today about your mindset a little bit, about getting out of your comfort zone, breaking the terror barriers, and moving forward into your passion, into your purpose, into your calling. Because so many women I talk to are just stuck. They want to be entrepreneurs. There's 600,000 of you on this page today. And welcome those who are watching. I'm not able to do it on my computer, so I can't see any of the chats. I just want to tell you now, if I don't address them here, it's not because I don't want to, it's because I can't see it, because there were some technical things with doing what we're doing. So I see Tina Journey is here. I do see it now. That's good. It finally popped up. So welcome, Tina. I hope this is of value to you. So today we're going to talk a little bit about getting out of your comfort zone. And how do we do that? We do it by paying close attention to realizing that you're not alone, to realizing that you have to be intentional and break the habits, because we stay in our comfort zone because it's comfortable. We don't grow there. And you think about the big oak trees, right? They talk about how the oak trees would stop at 10 feet if they could. Well, the reality is that oak tree will die if it doesn't keep growing. That's why they get so big. That's why they get so tall. And it's imperative that we keep growing and that we step out in faith and we don't pay attention to the lies in our heads and the negativity in our head. Because the reality is this, right? Results do not lie. And so let's start there. Do you have any area in your life that you would like to change? Is there anything that you think of and you're like, whether it's your business, your personal, your spiritual walk, that you say, I'd like to change this area, but I'm not sure how. So I want you to think about that and write it down. And then let's create an action plan afterwards. Step into it and create an action plan that you can break through that. So our results are not a reflection of our potential. It's an indication that we are capable of achieving so much more. Think about when you're a child. Think about when you were a child and you were learning to ride your bike. Now, you weren't scared of anything. I think about my daughter, and she would fall down, she would fall down, she would fall down. But she wasn't scared. She was determined. She was going to get back up and she was going to go. She was going to get back up and she was going to do what she wanted to do, which was ride that bike and keep up with her brother. She was not going to allow it to take the victory away from her. She was not going to allow it to defeat her. Well, how many of us do that in our business today? Oftentimes when it gets tough, we go, oh, maybe we'll do this. And I've been guilty of that. I can be opportunistic, and in the past, not currently, and I'm not going there again because I've learned from it. However, you would see something like this shiny object, go over here, it's easier. And if one more person on social media says, oh, I can teach you to build business and you're going to make X amount of money, some good, crazy amount of money in 30 days, I'm going to vomit, because the reality is most of that is hogwash. You have to work hard and you have to stay focused and keep going. It's like the hikes up the mountains I used to do. One step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, and you'd get to the summit. if you don't do the work, you will not get there. You might have something short-lived, you might make a little cash flow here, but it's not going to be long term. It's not going to be sustainable. So make sure you're doing things and doing them well. And when you're talking about organizing, so Tina's talking about getting organized in all areas of her life. So many squirrels. I'm with you, girl. I am so with you. So I can tell you, we have a program, and I do it on myself occasionally because I can be as guilty as anybody of getting in, just going 10,000 directions, setting your priorities straight and getting out of your comfort zones. Oftentimes what happens is the squirrels that we chase are the ones that are the most comfortable, the ones that don't stress us, the ones that do not call us to break through the terror barrier. One of my favorite sayings in the whole world is, Earl Nightingale said, most people tend to order their steaks medium and live that way too. If we settle for our comfort zone, ladies, it means that we're today all that we're ever going to be. So I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I okay with just being where I'm at today and not growing? No, because even if you're very content and very happy where you're at and you've come a long way and there's personal growth, you should never be satisfied, because growth is good. And the signs of growth, when you know that you're growing, are you're going to have confusion, you're going to have some pain, some discomfort, you're going to have some fear. And that's actually a good place to be. And oftentimes that's when we retreat. We get uncomfortable, we get confused. We do not like being on these lives. You know, there's a part of you that just is not comfortable. So you retreat oftentimes. But I'm going to encourage you, ladies, if you're uncomfortable, keep going towards that discomfort until it feels comfortable. And then go towards it again, go to a new level, because once you get comfortable, that means you're in your comfort zone, and there is zero growth in your comfort zone. So really doing a self-examination today. What have you done lately that is unfamiliar? What have you done lately that's inconvenient, uncomfortable? I don't know about you, but I recently just started doing the videos on TikTok. If you haven't looked at the numbers, that is the fastest growing platform in the world. And so I started doing those. There's something very different about doing that than there is a lot of other things that I've done. And I had to force myself to do it and to just be real and be authentic. And so that was my breakthrough. And I challenged myself, and my mentors, okay, what are you doing this week? I'm going to post some TikTok videos, you know, because I'll do them. I'll have my VAs do some generic ones, but I really struggled with doing the ones of myself. And so that was mine. So I'd love for you to think about, what is yours? So habits are actions that express themselves without any conscious awareness. And that's usually about 80% of where we live, is in that habitual state. When we drive, think about when you drive, how often you all of a sudden you're like 2 or 3 miles ahead and you're like, oh my gosh, how'd I get here? You know, we're not stretching ourselves. We're living in our habits, and those daily actions just come. What is the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. We have to change it. And so we have to get past our conscious mind, which is where you're in, just doing your habits every day, and go, okay, I want to go into my subconscious. I'm going to really evaluate things. I'm going to get rid of the self-limiting beliefs that are holding me back. And I'm going to do work on myself, and I'm going to take it to the next level when I feel uncomfortable and there's a lie. And for me, if you're spiritual and you're like, I am, where I fight it with the word of God. Everybody has their own thing, but for me, that is what works. And I know that when the enemy comes up and he's like, Tina, what do you think you're doing talking? Or what do you think you're doing this? I remember standing in front of 1,500 women one day about to speak, and every single dart came after me that was even possible. You know that feeling like you're just like, I'm not good enough to do this. What do I think I can make money doing this? How am I going to make an impact in someone's life? And I'm like, no, I'm called to do this. And I've seen the impact. And I had to sit there and give my own affirmations to myself with the word of God for about 30 seconds in my brain and just take a deep breath. And then I was fine. But we all have those. It's just a normal thing. But the thing about that means you're growing, because then you go, oh, you know what? I have the answer to those lies. And here's the truth. And I don't have to listen to the lies anymore. And so the creator of our reality, our adopted beliefs, become true to us. So that we want to live in possibility. We want to live in where we can go, not in where we've been. So let's talk a little bit. How do we really change that, ladies? Because we have to change it to get where we want to go. It starts with a decision. In your mind, you have to decide that you're going to do that. You are going to make the change. You have to commit to it. You have to commit to changing those habits. You have to make an intentional process in your life. I'm going to do this. And sometimes it is doing your time management. I can tell you, most of the CEOs that I've ever coached, time management has been their biggest thing, Tina. So don't feel bad. This is so true for so many of us. My biggest struggle, time management, saying no. Learn to say no. Just say no to anything that's not going to get you to your goals, your personal goals, your professional goals, and your spiritual goals. Look at your calendar. I promise you there's time in there for you to work on yourself. Maybe get rid of a TV show, maybe get rid of a little social media playing around, watching those crazy TikTok videos. I heard that most people stay for hours on TikTok. I just don't even get it, to be honest with you, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway, you need to know your why. So you need decision, you need commitment to doing it, and you need to know your why. What is your goal? What is it that you want to accomplish? Now, I'm going to encourage you as an entrepreneur. A lot of people say, well, I want to make $1 million by the end of this year. Well, that's great. And you can. There's a lot of ways to make $1 million, and I've done it plenty of times. And it's not about the money, though. You know what's more powerful to you? Yes, I would like to make $1 million by the end of the year. But why? Because I want to spend more time with my family, because I want to have control, because I want to change the world by doing good. And these are the organizations I'd like to help because I love what they're doing. When you start really thinking about the story and you start telling the story to yourself of what that's going to look like, then you start moving towards that story, towards that goal. Goals are fabulous. You need your goals, you need your strategy, you need your decisiveness, but you need to know your why. You really have to know your why. And in order to get there, you have to pay attention to what are the obstacles that are holding you back. What are the obstacles for you? Is it fear? Is it insecurity? Is it self-doubt? Is it time management? Is it something else? Whatever. If it's yourself, then you have to make a cognizant decision and change that. And so the way to do that is you have to have a terror barrier strategy. So when you hit that terror barrier, when you hit that place of fear, what is your strategy to overcome it? What are you going to do to change it? You have to have strategy. And so I'm going to encourage you, whether you join us or you join one of these other there's so many great people on this thread and on this group, but join a group of people that will not just tag you and check on you on a thread, but actually do life with you. You've got to have accountability. And you have to be persistent. So in our program, Think and Grow Rich with the Biblical Application, literally the chapter on persistence, we have you read it every single day for the first month, because it is so powerful to be persistent. You have to be persistent. And that is a mindset, and it's changing. And the more we do something, the more that becomes our habit. And then you think about your attitude. Attitude is so important to everything we do. So when you think about where you want to be and you think about how you can get there. What do you need to do? So take a second, and I really want to see you think about it for a moment. Just go within and go, okay, what do I want that to look like? And when we stop here, I'm going to encourage you to take some time and write it down. I don't know if you've ever heard of growth, but in order to have more, he says, we must first be more. So if you want more, you have to be more, because growth takes place outside of our comfort zone. We have to get out of our comfort zone. And our comfort zone, again, is just merely a reflection of conditioning. We have these conditioned thoughts, we have these conditioned behaviors, but we can change it. That's what's so awesome about it. And our comfort zone, mentally, really, we're settling for, again, what we are today. And so that you have to ask yourself that question that I started with. Are you happy with where you're at today? And is that okay if you stay where you are today 5 years from now? Would you be happy with that? And I would say nobody should be happy with where they're at today, being the same person 5 years ago, because you're withering away. Desire is the unexpressed possibility within you, seeking expression. You have desires, you have dreams, and those are all they are, is unexpressed possibilities that are already within you. God places those desires and those wants in you for a purpose, and he will give you everything you need. You just really have to believe, and you have to set the process in place, the strategy in place, and what are you going to do? So we need to also get rid of the naysayers. So when we're stepping out and we start having that fear, we have those negative thoughts, and one of those negative thoughts could be a spouse, it could be a friend, it could be someone else that may not believe in your vision at the moment. I'm going to encourage you to, obviously, if it's your spouse, you got to deal with it and work together and figure that out. So I'm all about marriage, and I'm all about taking care of our spouses. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying ignore your husband, but sometimes people can just be negative Nellies, and they quote unquote support you, but their words don't often say that, or their actions may not say that. You just have to ignore that and keep your why, and focus on your why. And one step at a time, one action every single day, changing. I think sometimes we make this so big in our mindset, such an issue, and progress and dreams and purpose and passion so huge that it's almost overwhelming, so we don't get anywhere. So I'm going to encourage you today, what is one thing, just one? Don't take 25, because that's what happens sometimes, even on dieting. Think about, and I did that myself. I was, okay, I'm not going to do any sugar and any flour and any this and any that. And I was so restrictive. I didn't have anything I could eat except for like lettuce and chicken. Instead, okay, you know, I'm going to change my habits and start just making one extra healthy habit a day. And as I did that, I ended up losing 20 pounds. Same thing with our dreams and our visions and our purpose. Take one thing that you can change today, and you will have that compound effect. Day after day, that one positive move forward is going to get you where you want to go. So when you feel stretched, when it feels difficult, keep on going, and know that that's actually a positive, because it'll continue to lead you to the results that you really want. Because right outside of that comfort zone is your terror barrier. And you can break that terror barrier by just taking one more step and one more step and one more step. So whenever anyone steps out of the comfort zone, there's going to be 4 stages that they're going to go through. So you're in your comfort zone, and then you have this reasoning in your mind. You start reasoning with yourself where, okay, I can do it. I can go out, and you're making a plan. And then you start heading that way and you get scared. And then when you get scared, you have to reason with yourself again and say, I can do this. I'm just going to continue to step forward, but you're going to have a strategy and you're going to use those 5 items that I mentioned earlier. And when you get there to that terrier and it's really bad, you're going to remember what your why is. And you're going to keep going. And then you're going to have freedom. And when you get to that place of freedom and it's no longer uncomfortable, you got to set a new goal. So what can you do today to get going? So think about, when you're going towards those goals, right? In that first stage of comfort, you kind of go, well, I'm kind of happy where I'm at. Well, yeah, well, that means you're not growing and you're not stretching and you're not risking anything. And in the reasoning stage, you're kind of like, well, I kind of want to do something. I want more than this. I'm going to go for it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my, I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm too disorganized. I'm too this, I'm too that. And that's where you get stuck. And then when you go to yourself, you know what? I can actually do this. All I have to do is get past that and overcome these obstacles. All I have to do is get a great mentor or a coach or a circle of people around me to support me to get through it, that will hold me accountable, that will support me through it. And I can do this. Suddenly, you're moving forward and you're in freedom. And so that's really where I want you to get. And then you can worry about doing your business plans. Then you can worry about doing your strategy for the next 5-year plan and budgets and all those things that you have to do as a business leader. But first, you got to take your first steps forward. What are you dreaming of doing and how are you going to get there? So when we face our change, and we're going to either step forward into growth or we're going to go backwards into what? Safety, right? So I'm going to encourage you, make sure that you're going forward into growth. And in order to break through that terrier barrier to the freedom, it just has to be a goal. Your why has to be worth failing for, ladies. What do you want so badly that is worth failing for? That's what you have to think about, because at the end of the day, when those times are hard and you're having to struggle against the lies and you're having to struggle against the obstacles, your goal needs to be something you want so badly. It's worth failing for. And can I tell you, my goal is to impact thousands and thousands, actually millions now. My goal used to be thousands. Now I want millions of women around the world to know they are masterpieces, that they were created just so beautifully to be able to do everything that God planned for them to do, and that they can be equipped, and that we can achieve the great things that are in our hearts and the passions and the purpose, and live in our calling, because that is what life is all about. That is, to me, worth failing for. That is, to me, worth getting on this live today with a broken phone that the camera's all yonky, and being here trying to figure out how to do a live without being able to show you my presentation that was so beautifully created for you. And it's worth it to me. That makes it worth failing. Even if one time I did this live and I didn't realize, because I'm not necessarily the most techie person. I had an ear pod in my ear, and it went to my daughter's music, and all this crazy music started coming up that wasn't even music of hers. It scared me half to death, but I did it anyway. I did it scared. And so I just encourage you, ladies, do it scared. Do it no matter what. Don't let anything hold you back, because you are a masterpiece. And you need to understand that the fear you're feeling is not real. It's made up in your head. It's the enemy. It is just not truth. You can succeed, and you can do everything that you desire to do. And there's ways to learn anything that you don't know how to do right now. There's so much opportunity for you to find the resources you need. So find the right people to support you. Hop in a group. If you want to see this whole entire program to really change your mindset, it's in our membership program. You get the membership for free for 30 days. You could do half of this program before you ever had to pay a dime. And we also have an entire step-by-step of how do you build your own online business. Are you dreaming of building your own online business platform or membership platform? We have all the tools for you in there as well. So, but most importantly, our community is incredible. The women are incredible. They support each other. They work together. We have the ability to help you with virtual assistants. We have abilities to help you with creating websites for you. We have all the tools you would ever need to be able to get to the place that you desire to get to in your path, in your business and your personal, your spiritual walk. We have it all in our membership. So we'd love to see you there. God bless you, ladies. And thank you for coming on board here. And if you watch this afterwards, please do hashtag replay. Ask any questions you have there. I'm going to put a couple of free links for you there. And I look forward to connecting with you again. And we do a lot of lives in our Masterpiece Women Female Entrepreneurs page as well, and in our group if you want to join us there. So have a wonderful, wonderful day.